Good morning, friends. In the last lectures, we started sliding contact bearings. So, in the sliding contact bearings, we studied uh, what is the lubrications, three types of the lubrications. And that is liquid lubrications, semi-liquid lubrications, semi-solid lubrications, and solid lubrications. So, after that, we studied hydrodynamic bearings and hydrostatic bearings. So, in hydrodynamic bearings, two types of the bearings. One is the full and another is the partial hydrodynamic bearing. So in partial bearings, so that can be take, suppose this is bearings, otherwise so this is journal and this is lubrications. This is journal, this is full bearing. So this is rotate, this is outer surface, and in partial bearings, so this is the 360 degree. So that's why it can take loads radially, and in partial hydrodynamic bearings, suppose this is lubrication systems and this is shaft or this is journal. This is rotated lubrication film and this angle is generally 120 degree. So it take load in one radial directions only, because this is the loads, so that load can be taken in the, so this is in, it can be take in the, and this is means this bearing is the partial bearing and this is the full bearings. So in the full bearings, so generally these are the more popular in industry, and this is generally used in railroad cars or wagons, and this is the partial type of the this lubrication system is easy, manufacturings of bearings also easy, and because of the less frictions, temperature rise In housing also less. So that's why less wear. So this is less wear means less maintenance cost. So try to understand this. So this is more wear because more frictions. So that's why more maintenance cost is, and because of the more frictions, the rise of the temperature which is in oils that is more. So because of that same oil is circulating again and again. So that's why a rise above the temperature is more in the full bearings. So these are the two types of the hydrodynamic bearings. So again, bearings are thrust bearings. So in thrust bearings, two types of the thrust bearings. Thrust sliding contact bearing. Here are two types of the thrust bearings. One is foot step bearing and another is the collar bearing. So in the collar bearings and in the foot step bearings, suppose this is a bottom of the housing. And this is shaft. So that's why here's this is bearing and the shafts. This is races. Oil entry point. This is shaft. And in the collar bearings, one collar which is, suppose this is collars. So below these collars, bearings, this is thrust bearing. Thrust bearing. This is collar. This is shaft. This is collar bearing and this is foot step bearings. So this collar may be single collars or it may be double collars. that depends on the what are the types of the loads. So this load is the thrust loads. So such type of the loadings. Here also thrust loads. So footstep bearings, here is oil entry from bottom sides, and here's lubricating oils may be present, or that may be semi-solid lubricants, that likewise grease that we can insert here, or otherwise continuously drop up of the oil that can be supplied. So this is the two types of the thrust sliding contact bearings. Now, in the yesterdays, we studied hydrostatic sliding contact bearings. So, in hydrostatic sliding contact bearings, suppose this is journal and this is housing. So this is pressurized oil. This is bush or journal bearing. So this is at rest. This is at rest conditions, and when so oil enters from pump, and this is bush bearing. Pressurized oil separate journal from bearing. So this is in running conditions. So in the hydrostatic bearings, so this is at rest conditions. This is the loads, and this is the loads. So that's why in the running conditions, so this bearing advantage is very low frictions at starting, load carrying capacity is more. It can take more torque at low RPMs also. And another, So no rubbing action at any operating speed. So here's only pumps is required, external pump is required to rise the lubricant oil pressures. So that's why this bearings also called as a pressurized bearings, also hydrostatic bearings. And in hydrostatic bearings, so it can take for more loads because less resistance. So because of the less resistance, to running the bearing, so life is more. But this bearing is costlier as compared to hydrodynamics, because in hydrodynamic bearings, that is the self pressurized bearings, and this is, or that bearings are called as self-acting bearings, and this is the external pumps is required, and in hydrodynamic bearings there is no any external pump is required. So whatever may be the lubricant oil which are present in the housing, so because of the speed up of the journals, so during the increasing up of the speeds, simultaneously the pressures above the lubricating oil which are present in the housing, that is also increasing, and at high speeds, means at maximum speeds. So due to the lubricating oils present which are present in the housing, that enters into the wedges above the journal side housing, and that separate above the journal above the shaft from the housing. So there is no any metal to metal contact. But you can say in the hydrodynamic bearings, because of the at starting friction is more, so that's why life maybe you will get less as compared to hydrostatic bearings, because in hydrostatic bearings during starting, so before start of the journals, that is separate out from the bush bearings. So after that that can be runs. So there is no any metal to metal contact between the hydrostatic sliding contact bearings. So this is very important. Our comparison between hydrodynamic bearings and hydrostatic bearings, small questions may be asked during the examinations, means that is the multiple choice questions. Which bearings is requires external powers, or which bearings is required is the pumps. So for hydrostatic bearings requires the pumps. So next is the viscosity. What is the meaning of the viscosity? So that we will see. Next article is the viscosity. And what is the unit of the viscosity? Viscosity is defined as the internal friction resistance, frictional resistance, internal frictional resistance offered by a fluid to change its shape and size, or relative motions of the shafts or of its parts. And this is given in the books. So here's viscosity, means this is the lubricating oils. Because bearings, here's two contact. One is the upper, suppose this is the reciprocating upper plate, and this is the lower plate. Suppose in the sliding contact bearings, reciprocating bearings. So that time this is upper plate and this is stationary. This is lower plate, stationary plate. And likewise tailstock above the lathe machines. So this is movable. Now, so what may be the lubricating oils which are present, that is stick on the upper plate and lower plate also. So these are the molecules of oil. So this is the lower plate. So this is stick with bottom plate and not moving. So this is not moving. So what may be the molecules which are present in the bottom plate, that is stick with the bottom plate. On the upper plate also, that is stick, and this plate is the reciprocating. So that's why this is having a velocity, and these intermoleculars, that is also having velocity, relative velocity. You can say this is relative velocity. And the popular unit of the viscosity is the poise. So this is the popular unit. Popular unit. This is poise, or this is more, this popular poise. So that's why if poise divided by 100, so this becomes centipoise. So that's why this is CP, centipoise unit. And this flow is a laminar or viscous flow. So this flow is this is unit, poise, popular unit, centipoise or poise. And absolute viscosity equal to Newton mm or Newtons second per mm squares. This is absolute viscosity. So 1 centipoise equal to, you can write 10 to the power 2. And this is poise. So you should know these basic relations. or otherwise S1 Cp equal to 10 to the power 2 poise, and this is dyne second per centimeter square, or 10 to the power 2 Newton 10 to the power 5, and this is second. So this is convergence of centimeters to mm squares. So this becomes 10 to the power minus 9 Newton second plus means per mm squares. 1 Cp equal to So that's why here's another important relations. Mu viscosity in units of Newton second per mm squares. Answered is viscosity in units of centipoise the relationship between centipoise and mu equal to 1 divided by 10 to the power 9 Cp. Otherwise, this is Cp means you can write this is Joule. This is popular unit. So try to understand this. Now, next is the footstep hydrostatic step bearings. So in hydrostatic footstep bearings, so what are the losses considered in the footstep bearings? That we'll see. So in footstep bearings means oil enters from the bottom sides. So suppose this is shaft, oil enters from the bottom sides. This is bearing, thrust bearing, and this is pressurized oil, PI enters, and this is PO, and this gap is the HO. So that's why this is RI and this is RO. This is load, thrust load, and suppose this is rotating likewise. So here's in this case, so distributions of the pressures over the bearing that we will see. So this is races, this is RI, and this is outer race, means this, and this is lubricating oil which are present. So here's, so at the entry points, here's this pressure is more, and after that this pressures decreasing. This is in pressures and this is outer pressures. Here's, this is average pressure P. So that's why here's I write W is thrust load. Thrust load means which is acting on the, means parallel to the axis. Likewise, RO, outer radius of the shaft. Outer radius of the shaft. RI, inner or radius of the races. Radius of races or the pocket. PI, supply of inlet pressure Newton per mm squares or mega pascals. This is H0, fluid film thickness. So above, by considering this thickness, you can call as a thin lubrication systems or thick lubrication systems. Q is the flow of lubricant in mm cube per second, and mu is the viscosity of lubricant, and this is Newton second per mm squares. So that's why here finally you will get W equal to thrust loads equal to pi into Pi divided by 2 in brackets outer radius squares minus inner radius squares divided by log of E. So thrust load, maximum thrust load that can be applied. So by using this formula you can calculate. This is the lubricating oil pressures and this is outer race. Means this is outer radius above the shaft, outer radius above the shaft. This is the inner radius. So by using this, so maximum thrust load that can be lifted or that can be lifted or that can be sustained, that you can calculate by using this formula. So next articles is the losses energy losses in hydrostatic bearing. So here's two types of the losses. One is due to the friction loss and another is due to viscosity of the lubricant oils. Means due to pumping loss and another is the friction loss. So that's why the total energy losses due to two factors. First is energy required to pumping the lubricating oil and energy loss and energy loss due to viscous frictions. So these loss is to be consider energy due to pumping the lubricating oils. So this is the supply of the oils and another is the energy loss due to the viscous frictions. So this EP first loss pump equal to that can be calculated by using this is Pi minus PO. So that's why total power loss equal to power loss in pump plus power loss in viscous flow. So that's why briefly KWT equal to, so we can write this is KWP plus KW, this is the flow. So this is final equations of the energy losses. So I think you understand. So what are the energy losses? Here two type of the energy losses that is to be considered in the hydrostatic bearings. That is the energy loss of the because the pump having some of the efficiency, because that pump is not having 100% above the efficiency. So some of the friction losses that is to be considered during the operating of the pumps. So that's why pump loss. So this is the power loss in the pumps and this is the power loss in the viscous flow because of the molecules which are glide one another with the others molecule of the lubricating oils. So because of that friction losses, so that is a loss also is to be considered. So that's why this is the viscous flow power loss and this is the pump loss, and that is equal to total loss of the hydrostatic bearings. So these this is the theoretical articles about the hydrostatic bearings and hydrodynamics bearings. So remaining portions means that is the for the sliding contact bearings, which type of the materials we can use, what are the different types of the lubricating oils that we can use, that we will see in the next class. So due to limitations of the times, today I stop here, and in the next class we will see so what are the different types of the materials that we can use for the sliding contact bearings. Means that popular material is the white materials or phosphorus bronze or bronze materials that we can use for the sliding contact bearings, and what are the lubricating oils, what are that properties, and which instrument which we can use for the measurement of the viscosity of the lubricating oils, and how we can measure the viscosity of the lubricating oil, that we will see in the next class. So that's why today I stop here and we will continue the remaining portions of the sliding contact bearings, that is the theoretical portions. So that we will complete in the next 2-3 class, and we can complete this first unit. So that's why today I stop here and we will continue remaining portions of the sliding contact bearings in the next class. So try to find out on the Google's what are the different types of the materials that we can use for the sliding contact bearings, and what are the different types of the lubricating oils, that is also you can search on the Google's. So and if you have any queries, queries you can raise during this after completions of the class. So after completions of the these theoretical portions of the sliding contact bearings, we will see what is the comparisons between rolling contact bearings and sliding contact bearings. So after completions of the sliding contact bearing, we will see comparison between rolling contact bearings and sliding contact bearings. So that is the last article about this first unit. So after that we can start second unit. So today, that's why today I stop this. Thank you.